Ready? I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Underwood, Councilwoman Templeton.
Here.
Councilman Weiner,
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Venz,
Here.
Councilman Cook, Councilman Tennant.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Yeah. Nice razor on it.
I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. And tonight, the total of bills are $753,634.67.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
The consent agenda has passed. Correspondence.
We have a request from the Daisy Chain to close Main Street for an event on November 6th. Would you like to come forward?
Street of Life and the Daisy Chain and the farmhouse. We would like to have an event on November 6th called the Ladies Night Out. And we're going to have we've talked to several of the businesses that are willing to be open a little later because it's going to be from 7 to 10. We'd like to ask tourism because we'd like to have music. And we'd also like to close just the portion of street from Mill to Adams for 3 hours while we have it. So that's really what our request. We didn't really know what else we needed to bring to you.
And what are the businesses that are involved?
Well, any of them that on the whole street that want to be involved. So far, it's the farmhouse, Tree of Life, and the Daisy Chain are the three in the art gallery.
Tanglefoot Gallery.
The Tanglefoot Gallery, all of us are involved in it, and they're going to, the art gallery is going to do like the posters and flyers and things like that to give to the other businesses. And we've talked to quite a few of them that are interested.
Other businesses have expressed interest. Main and Mill being one, the Four Brothers Mead, Best Kept Secret, The Brick, the new Sugar Shack.
Okay,
So basically be a ladies shopping evening, and then each store would provide like drinks or snack and if they wanted to. Otherwise, they could go into the restaurants that are going to stay open.
okay.
I don't have any issues. The only thing I would say is make sure you contact each business on Main Street and let them know what your intentions are, so there's something not caught off guard with the street.
Oh, we are. We're putting together a flyer for the businesses so that'll be fully explained to them.
And it's 7 to 10.
7 to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So everybody will pretty be closed for the day.
Pretty much.
I think it sounds like a good idea. If you can get the more the merrier as far as participation goes. I don't know if they might be a little late for tourism to be able to help out on something like
Yeah.
that, though.
Yep, that window would have closed.
Right.
They had their
Long time
meeting,
ago.
so.
Okay.
So,
They're more of a, if this was something that you were gonna plan, sorry, if this
yes.
was something that you thought if it went well and you wanted to do it again next year, definitely approach tourism if there's community, benefit to it. But at this point, with it basically being a month away,
Okay.
they've already committed, I would think they've already committed for that point.
Yes,
so.
they have.
but I think it's a great idea. I think, you have to get started somewhere and you're
Well, we know
doing
the
it.
Stocking stroll is canceled this year, so we're trying to come with some new ideas for our social events on the street to bring people to town.
Sure. It's a good
Twin
idea.
City Days was amazing. So we figure people want to get out and be around the town and see what's going on and all the new stuff that's going on.
Thank you for doing this.
Are you Michelle?
I'm
Oh, you're Michelle? Okay, I talked to you on the phone. Okay, about this, yeah. We're all about encouraging anything that will, benefit Main Street, like that. And so hopefully it'll turn out real nice. Like they said, next year, maybe you can plan on, getting a band and stuff. You might be able to get one this year. I don't know if you got one
Well,
yet, but.
if the other businesses are willing to contribute some, we might be able to.
Mhm.
So, any other discussion? No reason why I can't make the motion to approve, to get this. Okay, approved. We have a motion to approve. Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Have your event.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Remarks of visitors.
We have none.
Bids.
We have none.
Ordinances and resolutions. Tonight, we have one ordinance. Got to get the right piece of paper here. We have bill number 4649 for this evening. Madam Clerk, would you please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4649, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, levying and authorizing the assessment and collection of a tax for the fiscal year 2021-22 for public health purposes, public library, general revenue purposes, and city parks, and fixing the time for the taking effect of this ordinance.
Bill number 4649 is now open for discussion. Could I have a staff report, please?
As you know, we get these numbers from the county every year. Our assessments are up and therefore our tax rate has gone down. That's based on the Hancock Amendment from the state of Missouri. But happy to answer any questions related to that. Correct.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, could I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4649 for the second time in title only?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4649 for the second time?
Bill number 4649, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, levying and authorizing the assessment and collection of a tax for the fiscal year 2021-22 for public health purposes, public library, general revenue purposes, and city parks, and fixing the time for the taking effect of this ordinance. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Underwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Tenon.
Yes.
Bill 4649 has passed. New business.
So good evening, everybody. I handed out everything that you should, and I also sent it out earlier last week or mid last week. So you have us and the department heads here. If you have any specific questions about the big green sheet, the capital items, or anything like that, so let us know.
I have one.
Okay.
For those, the creation of the new semi-skilled laborer position, we have 3 people that are moving. Offhand salary range of what they're currently at for that level versus the new level.
It should be, they would have been at 1520, and I believe they're moving to 1629. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Is there a change in benefits or anything else? It's just straight
Just the
pay.
salary.
Straight pay is the only change.
You would still be eligible for the cost of living raise also.
The move is in lieu of, so they'll be actually getting a raise going to that semi-skilled position that would be equal to possibly a little more, depending on where they are right now, to hit that semi-skilled position.
So definitely be a benefit for them.
Correct.
And also the part-time litter control officer, what does that kind of entail? Are they just going to spec it to see the things and document them, or are they removing, or? And I apologize if that's contained in
No,
there.
it's okay.
I got my mic working now. So we're calling it a litter control officer, but they're going to be doing a lot more than that. I would call them kind of our monkey wrench person. So if we have some jobs, some light jobs that they can do, whether it's cleaning intersections, we have debris left from accidents all the time. There's weeds that can be sprayed. There's random weed trimming that can be done. Yes, they'll be picking up litter, and that can keep them very, very busy. But there'll be those other little things that sometimes you guys call about, there being something, in the road someplace, we need somebody to go get it. Well, this is a person that can go and get that and not pull a skilled man off a job that's doing something, like pouring concrete or patching asphalt.
I just wasn't sure if it was an actual physical, like doing it, or they were more like kind of code enforcement, I guess, going around. and
No,
seeing
they'll be doing it. They'll be removing litter.
Oh, good. Sounds like a good.
And we did take out the summer helps to pay for that too, so. Because we've been having trouble filling those positions.
So we won't be getting summer help.
Right.
I talked to Sammy before the meeting, something that came up after I talked with Greg.
Microphone.
Sorry. So are we up to staff at the park, or how many are we still down up there?
For a current staff that we've been at, technically down anyone at the moment.
So I know previous in the year, we had lost a man and had a man out. So now,
We had, one of our guys was out for a couple months, shoulder issue, but he's back.
we're gonna,
We're at normal capacity out there.
so in reality, how many people do we need out there? Because I know there always seem to be issues that manpower,
Minimum of 2.
we're gonna wait and see how that all pans out with that tax.
If you're not using your microphone, if you switch it off, because it blocks out it blocks out the number that can be used. Really, at this point, there are some critical areas where it's very close as far as expenditures to revenue. And the Parks Department is certainly one of them. So that hinders our ability to add new staff and to take on any large capital campaigns. I know that's something that we've looked at as far as the ARPA funding, as far as capital campaigns, playground replacement, the establishment of new parks, renovations of the barn, things like that we've talked about over the last few months. So that's something we'll dig into in October as we move forward. But being able to find a source of revenue to move the parks forward and to provide Josh the staffing that he needs just to stay on top of things. You need 270 acres worth of parkland, you've got your hands full. So him and 3 other guys, and then essentially a 23-week guy.
2 16.
Yeah.
30, I think it's 32, and we had 2 16s this year.
Right.
And the park does still have that in their budget.
So, I mean, I see where the fund's pretty thin. It was down to 22,169. So if that doesn't go through, that sales tax issue that would help fund them. I know this is a little funny because they get funding from the park board handles, and then we supplement funding for a better explanation.
The breakdown, obviously, they get a share of the stormwater parks tax, which is a sales tax.
Right.
And then there's the 11-cent property tax assessment that they get, which is something that we just approved tonight.
Right.
That is their sole source of funding. Anything else has to come from general fund. And there is some supplement to the Parks Fund to be able, basically for them to be solvent during the course of a fiscal year.
Right. I just, one thing from being out there knowing they were a little shorthanded, so.
I see on, I guess it's a wish list, the City Hall Police Department generator. I know we see we don't have one. We haven't had one.
We have one. It's probably 50 years old. It's in back here. It does not provide power to the entirety of the building. When it is operational, obviously it runs the 911 center. Will run most of everything on the PD side. A number of the items on the City Hall side are limited as far as power goes. What we would like to do in the future, when funds are available, is to go ahead and upgrade that unit, the kilowatts on that unit, to make it to where the entire building would be able to run. But as of right now, the unit we have, it's serviceable. We are getting to a point though where finding parts. It's got an old Ford V8 in it to provide as power plant. So it,
Unfortunately, there's no sources out there that you can get grants or loan or these things for the emergencies, I guess.
and I think part of the rationale that went into our budget process is there are going to be funds available for infrastructure. There are going to be funds available for emergency services. So saying that we needed to go ahead and make this one a priority right here, right now, we looked at the same thing for the Public Works facility as well, to get them backup power. We really felt that taking money away from the rest of the capital items in the budget for the year, when we could have an opportunity, either through this round of funding that's coming through the cities, or direct from the federal government that could be used from emergency management, that sort of thing. There's a number of options that I think we can look at moving forward that won't take away from the money that we need to spend, that we control right now.
Well, that's what I figured. I mean, I didn't want the city to be hurting, if it's something that was.
It is an older generator. One of the things that we've done in the last few years, we set it up on a cycle schedule, so it does run every Tuesday. We upgraded it was in the budget and it was something we did about 3 years ago. So the transfer switch on it has been upgraded. We set it on a schedule because otherwise it was just sitting. So we put it on a cycle every week to make sure that it is up and running. And then if it's something that Alan can do, or if we need to call a local contractor to come in and take care of, we at least get a heads up because it does run every week.
Okay.
Do you think there might be anything at the state surplus that would help us with that generator?
Probably about the same age.
Okay.
I've seen the stuff at
Yeah.
state surplus. I don't know if we would make a vast improvement over what we have. We might be able to buy some more kilowatts, but I don't know if we.
Thought.
It's worth looking into. I'll be happy to take a look. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
I think more than anything else, we just want to make sure all of you have a chance to fully go through the numbers. If there's any questions, they don't have to be answered tonight. Obviously, Stephanie and I and the department heads are available to you. Anytime you need questions answered. I know Kevin and I ran into each other on Saturday. I talked to Dave Saturday, talked to Brian on Saturday, talked to Bobby on Saturday. It's a chance for you guys to digest. If there's something that you have questions about, please get with us. And I want to reiterate what I hope I've shared with all of you through this process. One, Stephanie has been dynamite and an absolute treat to work with. The innovations that she's made to the process make this go a lot easier and a lot faster. And the department heads as well. Everybody has been honest. We sit down, we hammer it out, we prioritize. If there's questions, we get back with everybody. It's been several years that we've been doing it perhaps this way, but I think everybody feels that it's an open, transparent, fluid process. And at the end of the day, we end up getting a good budget to move this city forward more than anything else.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Old business,
We have none.
mayor and council reports. Councilman Underwood.
Big enough, loud enough, everybody to see.
I'll give that guy back there some credit too. So Matt and Shane.
Did a good job on that.
Anything else?
That's it.
Councilwoman Templeton. Councilman Vins.
The streets, man, the streets are beautiful of what's been done. I mean, congrats to the Jokers on, getting our streets looking good for Twin City Days and I seen they got was that Sunnyside up there today and I seen in one of your reports, Matt, and maybe Craig, about weeds
That's right.
on Horine. After you pass the Alexander Heights, the weeds on both sides, especially the side, as you're going out of town, they are really hanging over the street. Is that us to cut?
Once you go past Ivy,
Yeah,
where you're talking,
well, right before Ivy and plus all, is that the city?
it jumps into the road district at some point, Shane. Since you're here, might as well ask you a question.
We actually used special road district to trim that up this year, but it grew back so fast and we don't have a mower capable of.
Is that one that we need that arm to have that, and we borrow from the road district, right?
Correct.
Okay,
We traded laborer this year. We patched part of their street and they did some right of way trimming for us.
okay, yeah, because man, you just, as soon as you pass Alexander Heights and then like I said, Ivy and go on, man, it's
It
just,
grew back within a month, it seemed like.
Yeah.
You can't do that just from every month, so we'll have to figure something out in the future.
Don't we have one of those mowers on that excavator?
Yeah, but it's extremely slow. You could weed it faster, I bet you.
Really?
My turn. That wouldn't be very safe.
And something that Matt was looking at last year was we were going to demo a boom mower from Side Stricker that was a used unit. It didn't work out with COVID and everything like that. So we're keeping our eyes open for an opportunity if it presents itself where we might be able to get out there a little more often. It's something we looked at for the budget this year.
well, because, especially like there, scenic, even going out past the middle school, those, like I said, the weeds they need more attention, to keep us, when people come into town, we don't want to see them, first thing to see is all these weeds.
Yeah.
Once they're in town, they're,
Maybe something we could put on our wish list to get that piece.
Yeah, and it made the wish list this year, and I know something that we have all talked about going into this budget process was wanting to have not just look at the budget from this year perspective, but the department heads to bring us items that we could say, okay, and that's going to be, no promises made, but let's start thinking, okay, so 22, 23, 23, 24, where are we going to maybe be able to plug these things in? So those are the prioritizations. I know if we're going to focus on the street department, obviously a paving machine is something that has come up just in the last year or so. The guys do a great job. I mean, that section they did of Pine saved us some money, being able to do the repairs up here on West Main after the winter weather. So those are things that we can start to think ahead about programming for next fiscal year and the year after, at least to get ourselves set up to move forward.
yeah, that would, to me, that we go to people's yards and complain when they get weeds or grass certain height. Now our own, we are not doing our own part. So we
Bobby,
need to-
let me check and see how much renting one would be. Maybe we can rent one for a month and just use the pants off of it, because I'm sure Josh could use it out at the park too. So let me check on
I
some
mean,
prices and see what
seemed
that
like
would
it-
cost.
Yeah, I mean, especially now this, since it's at the end of the season where after we do cut it, it will be fine till next spring. You know, just to make it look a little better to. And then Twin City Days was really wonderful. I mean, we had the good weather, start off with the golf and Main Street out there, plus out there at Larry Kreitz Park, that was beautiful too. And you can see the crowds were down. I mean, it doesn't seem like we all know what, you know, but it was still good turnout. It seemed like everybody I talked to enjoyed it and had a good time. So the band was pretty good and everything. So, but other than that, that's it, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Tenon.
Basically, I just wanted to kind of add on to Bobby's, the streets. Matt and I were talking about that earlier, and that's the best I've seen in a long time. I don't know what they're doing different, but I think they look really good. And since we're talking about weeds, we still have that area and on Hog Point where you come off of going to the park, that turn right there, we were cutting that and now it's grown back out. So you have no vision when you're going into the meadows. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you. Councilman Boyer.
Yeah, the streets looking real good over around school there. Had a guy that brought that up as being, you know, when's the streets going to get done? It looks terrible. Next day, you know, they's pretty much knocked out. So it kind of cured him. The car show looked like it turned out real good. There was a lot of people down on Main Street. So I think Twin City Days there, that went real well. Yeah, we got a nice second place. Got beat out by a Corvette.
No.
63 Corvette beat us for first place. We took second place. But that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Weiner.
So I'm going to pile on with the streets too. Yeah, they're looking great. I mean, nice and smooth and everything. Twin City Days, nice crowd down on Main Street. The restaurants were all, you know, going gangbusters down there. The concert out at Kreitz Park, excuse me. Yeah, good turnout. We went out there, nice turnout. You know, the new electrical lines that we got expanding in the area, you can see those at use. And you can just see a lot of things really going forward, you know, for the city. And like just hearing Greg talk about the department heads and looking out for 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, you know, so to be proactive and be able to have a plan in place and to have a wish list and not be doing things because something breaks and, you know, it's going to be a terrible thing if it happens, if it breaks, but to be able to look out and to be able to plan, I think that's a real positive note for the city going forward. There was an armadillo that was killed on Collins Drive, and that thing was cleaned up in a day. So thank you for whoever did that. That was a bad thing. Let's see. Yeah, the parks. It would be nice to see some more employees and for you guys not to be so busy as you are. And Mark, also, I'm sorry for your loss. And that's all I have to say, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Dennis.
Trying not to beat it to death here, but yeah, the streets are looking wonderful. And I guess one of my questions is with our grass cutting folks being a little less than desirable this year, what's our plan to do with that?
Yeah. Poor Josh.
Or do you need a month to think of?
It was a 3-year contract with them. This is coming up on the end of year 2. We're going to take a look at the language. I haven't yet. I think I've said I think the last time you and I talked about it, I said I would, and it slipped my mind, so I apologize. As far as an exit clause. But that potentially, it's kind of the devil you know and the devil you don't know. We know this devil, and they know that they've got Josh cracking the whip every week. The code enforcement guys, have to do that as well.
I think one of the things that no fault of ours that bothers me is there's places that look rough, and that's not what we're all used to. And I know these guys back here, because I've talked to them. I've been out there. I go look at these things, and there's some spots that just plain old look rough. That's not the. Yeah. Yes, he did. Mike, like I said, names, but that's something that I think when you ride around town and it don't look squared away, it's got to be squared away. So once again, no fault to you guys, because I see you guys hustle. The other thing too is I do think, for a better word, we need a plan for the police, the fire, parks, everyone here, where we want to be 1, 3, 5 years from now. Where do you see the department in 5 years, Chief? Probably retired, but hopefully, retirement is all that too. So, but I really think for us to have a goal to work to, that I know Kevin, we've talked about this. We'd like to see this, and this. That way we can start sharpening our pencil. And yes, our roads do look wonderful. Our parks look wonderful. The police department wrote 95 tickets this month. So people are telling me, hey, somebody ran the red light and they got him. My cousin told me that, almost hit her, she was tickled. So yeah, this is a good team. It's a good team. They do good work. I'm proud to be part of it. And, thank you for all you do. And once again, condolences to you, Mark, about your boy. So yeah, but I'd like to see us decide where we want to be in the future, start looking at things and let's get it together. Because like I said, we are the city of progress. It's on the wall here somewhere, I think. So anyway, but that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. And I'd like to add, just real quickly, great job to all the departments that were involved in Twin City Days. It went off without a hitch. We didn't have any problems. We had a little problem with the sewer, but the guys took care of it. But everything turned out good. We didn't have any incidents. You can't, and we had great weather, so you can't, as Kirk Mooney said the other night at the concert, this has been the best weather that he's seen in many, many years for Twin City Days, and it worked out great. There's a couple of things. Mark, once again, your condolences for your son. Gentlemen, under the 63028 zip code, there are 147 confirmed cases of COVID, just our zip code. Now, granted, that zip code takes some of the rural parts of Festus. But the fact of the matter is, we need to highly encourage our employees to get vaccinated. We have 3, is that right, from the police department? 5 now. 5 from the police department. One of our department heads has it. But we need you to encourage all of your employees that work for you to get vaccinated. It's the only way we can stop this thing, or at least head it off. So let's be proactive and be leaders and see if we can't lead these people, our employees, to do the right thing and get vaccinated, not only for their protection, but for protection of others. When I was growing up, and Dave, maybe a couple others, polio was the thing. Yes, I still have the scar, but I didn't get polio. I had a friend of mine who had it, and it ended up being a lifelong disease for him. But we need to highly encourage our employees to get vaccinated. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.